Welcome back to another Commonplace and planner update. I'm really excited about this one because there's so much I want to share. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about where I went for September. So during September every year there is an art competition celebration in Grand Rapids. There was over 950 different art pieces downtown, and places like my stores can become venues that display art. And during that time you have extended hours and it's crazy busy. So I spent 16 days basically working at the stores for 10 to 12 hours every day, which was amazing. And I did get to go out and see some art, but the art we had in our store was fantastic. So it was kind of all consuming, but I was still using my planners and writing my pages every single day. So I was still doing planner stuff. I just didn't have the ability to sit down and talk to you guys. But it went really well, and it's the best time for the business. It's literally make or break for the business. It is so important, art prize is. So I'm really glad it went well, and it's nice to be on the other side of it now to be able to talk about planner stuff again. So like I said, there's a lot I want to cover. Let's start in the planner itself. Just do a little bit of an update on September. So this is what my September spread ended up looking like. This was the art prize section, you can see with the washi tape. So I didn't update this too much because literally every day I was just sitting at Courage and Store's counter doing all of that retail work. But I still use my planner every day. I have these little sticky notes to cover up my sister's foster kids. You aren't supposed to share them on the internet, but I still wanted photos of them, but covered them up here. So there weren't too many favorites for September, but we did start watching The Bear, so I added that here. And I did the bow ties for Alex's anniversary gift in the little pottery section. I feel like I talked about this, but maybe I didn't. So if I'm rehashing things you've already heard, I'm really sorry. But year 8 for the traditional anniversary gift was the pottery theme. So last year, I think it was iron, or there was a year that was wood, leather, maybe last year was wool or copper, if I recall. Regardless, year 8 was pottery, which seemed really, really appropriate. So I made Alex recreations of his actual bow ties. So these are designed based on his actual bow ties. So I finished that right before our prize started and was able to get them over that period of time, but then take all the photos and stuff. Habit tracker kind of fell to the wayside during our prize, but I gave myself, leniency on that. I really do love this 4 good things in tracking what I'm eating. I think it's making me much more aware of what I'm consuming. I'm not trying to diet or change really anything, but it is nice to be more conscious of it. And I cannot praise the daily photos enough. I love them so much. I take way more photos to try and include them in this section. So these photos at the end of the month, the monthly ones, are the more polished, if you only looked at one thing, you'd get a glimpse and understanding of what the month was like. But it's the daily ones that I'm just really, really love. And this was a wine that I really enjoyed, pictures of things we got up to, that sort of thing. I started thinking about if we went to Iceland, what places I'd want to visit. So these are screenshots from TikTok. And I think it just better captures the actual day itself. Alex got me a bunch of airheads. I don't know if you can see that very well, and I love it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. At the end of August, I feel like we talked mid-August. I'm not entirely sure. I should have done my research on my own videos before starting this one. But at the end of the months, if it was July, I think. Wow, guys, really sorry. I was talking about if I had empty space on the monthly view. So I filled it with these words that summed up the month. So for July, it was kittens, make it minis, toast butter dishes, baking, Amelia, The Wandering Inn, Chris, planner stickers, embroidery, takeout, home alone, trinket, shelves. So just words that summarized my month. I really love this to fill up the space for July. So August, I did the same thing, where I did goodbyes, Chris, tapestry, themed events, merch, pottery, or that's actually poetry, sequels, ABBA, hammock chats, like just little words. And I just think it's kind of cryptic even for me, but I think it is a really fun thing to do at the end of the month. And I'm definitely going to continue doing this. So if you have a space or not sure how to use like a monthly thing, maybe adding like a list of words and phrases that sum up the month. And then I made myself a dopamine menu. I've been seeing people do this on TikTok and the internet, and I wanted to give it a try. So it was actually really helpful to acknowledge like what I would put on it, and writing the list made me really like have to think about it, like what would go in each section. Like starters are little things you can do. Main course is that it takes like a few hours or it takes time, like you have to specifically do that. It takes you away from other stuff. Sides you can do while doing other tasks. And desserts is you could like have too much of it, so you need like it in moderation. And then specials are like really big things that could potentially cost money. So I made myself a little dopamine menu, and then at the end of September, I also did a little like blurb of words, but I still had this huge section. So I think I'm good with this. Like we're gonna leave this blank. It's not a big deal. I think I'm fine with that. So those are all of the updates in my planner itself. And then I have a few more things to chat about. Let's do a little Commonplace flip through. Me and this Commonplace have never really felt settled. I feel like she and I have not come to terms with each other, and she's almost a year old. So I wrote on the first page, I started her in November on the 5th. So she's almost a year old, and I just don't know. So I might try something else, but let's at least show you guys where we're at. So I think one of the last times we talked, I showed you all of my little mini-verse things, and then I've still been writing book quotes and sayings from them as well. So it's mostly books and mini-verse, and then yeah, more books. I want to do a little section about Oni's first litter. I wrote some notes down about each of the kittens from that litter and their like personality traits and everything. So I think that'll be really cool to do here. That's where we're at with the Commonplace. So not too many entries. We've now entered the portion of the video where I need your opinions and your thoughts in the comments. So for a little recap, this is what I use for my daily pages. It's an Erin Condren notebook. This is a focused notebook, but it doesn't have to be. It's just one of their aligned notebooks. They're like 140 pages. I have used 25 so far. I've filled out 25. This one's number 26. And I have enough to have 40 full finished books. So I'm on 26. I have 37 with 3 more coming in the mail. But a couple of reasons I'm considering switching to a different notebook after those 40. Number one, it seems like Erin Condren is like distancing themselves from these. Like they're not making as many designs anymore. There's fewer on the website, and the layouts are different. They're like switching things up to different styles and layouts. And then number two is they're very expensive for what they are. They're $16, I think, for the notebook, but then there's also shipping and all of that. And I am not made of that kind of paper money. So I'm trying to figure out a different notebook to move into. I would love 50 notebooks, which would be another like 2 years of writing, but I'm planning long-term, guys. Like, I know this might be a bit ridiculous. And honestly, probably not to you guys, which is cool, which is why I like you. I'm only on book number 26. I have 40 total. So it took me about 2 years to do the 26 books. So it'll take me another 2 years or so to get to the end of these that I have. But I'm already thinking about what I want to do next. So I have one here that is in the running as a potential replacement. I'm struggling with the idea of 40 notebooks, like finishing at 40. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things if I have 50 notebooks of one style or whatever. 40 at least is like an even number and a solid number. I feel good about that. But I just don't think Erin Condren is going to release more of these notebooks. Like there was only 3 or 4 actual choices in the style of lined notebook on their website this time when I purchased the 3 to restock, like to finish up to 40. I'm just concerned I won't be able to get 10 more. And they can't all be the same color or style because I've been mixing them up so that they look like random and sporadic when they're all on the shelf together. And so I couldn't buy like 10 of the same black ones. It just would mess up the flow and the look of all the planners, the notebooks, I mean, together. So this is what I'm considering as a replacement. Because of my stationery business, I'm able to get wholesale pricing for like certain brands and companies. So this is by a company called Denick, and I specifically like this one because it's like an embroidered design, and they have maybe 4 or 5 designs, and I think they're going to continue releasing them. That's also like the gamble, is like, will I have a supplier for a while? So this is much more affordable because of my business, because of the ability to buy wholesale, that I can purchase these. So they're slightly bigger, but like the spines are really pretty. I think the like embroidered look, there's a few different ones that have this like different type of embroidery on it. So I think this could be a good replacement, but what do you guys think? Do you think I should go up to 50 and just like buy 10 black ones and scatter them in the notebooks I have left, so it's just like sporadic black ones or whatever? This is definitely a much more affordable option, so if I just stop at 40 because I already have them, what do you guys think? But the paper is honestly comparable. I think this has 144 pages, so it's gonna take me roughly the same amount of time. So that's not a really big deal. I thought I'd show you guys the inside. So the paper is yellow compared to the Erin Condren paper, which is definitely much more white, but like that change isn't huge to me. And the lines, I think these are smaller lines, so I'd actually be writing more, which I'm okay with as well. So that is what I'm thinking. Obviously, I still have time to search around, but if you have any suggestions of really solid, like I like kind of a harder cover lined notebook, B6, A5 size. If you have any suggestions that are around the like $8 to $9 mark with like 140 plus pages in it, that would be swell if you have any more suggestions besides what I've figured out so far. All right, this feels wild to be talking about again, but a Voyager notebook, a traveler's notebook. Why is this here? What am I doing? I have been daydreaming about Japan, and we tried to go on a trip to Japan 4 years ago in April of 2020. Obviously that didn't happen. And so now I've been doing like a lot of research about traveling to Japan and everything, and I am considering this as like my Japan keepsake notebook situation. So what I like about it is that it comes with these like 3 different inserts. So I was figuring the lined could be where I write down the places I want to go to and maybe divide it into like area, because Japan and Tokyo specifically has like boroughs like New York does. And so there's different areas and parts of Tokyo that I could write down like the places I want to shop and eat. And then the dot grid, I was thinking I could use for like a junk journal thing of all the scraps and pieces. And then the blank one would be for the stamps you can collect at the like subway stations. They have really like awesome stamp culture there. So I thought I could use the blank one, and then the zipper pouch could hold receipts or like paper stuff. I feel like that's a good idea. I still have plenty of time. Like the Japan trip is not planned. There are no dates, but I was just considering it, and with all the like TikToks I've been saving, I wanted to get started somewhere capturing that information. So I figured that this would be a good idea. But if you've traveled recently or have any input on like what you think the best way to document a trip like that would be, like a longer trip with like more information and stuff, it's probably gonna be a 2-week trip if it does ever, you know, happen. In my dreams, this is my dream notebook apparently. I wanted to share that kind of like plotting and planning, because I would start in that first insert kind of documenting the places I wanted to visit, and then the other ones what I actually visited. So pretty excited about that. So that is everything I wanted to discuss in today's planner update, Commonplace update. Let me know what you guys think about the daily pages as well as the traveler's notebook tracker thing for Japan. I also like the size. I feel like it could fit in like a crossbody really well. Let me know what you think or if you have any suggestions. But thank you guys so much for watching. It feels so good to be back. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more planner notebook related content from me. Oh, I realized I'm not wearing my rings. Not like you guys care that much, but I was at pottery earlier. If my hands look dry as hell, it was because I was at pottery. But that's why I'm not wearing my rings. I will go find them and put them on immediately after this. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.